What's up, everybody? This is Ruben here. This is SPORTS-REUBEN-LIFE. This is another episode here, and this in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how KSI can beat Logan Paul in a boxing match that is going to be at the Staples Center between two 0-0 fighters slash YouTube personalities slash entertainers. So it's going to be an interesting fight. There's going to be a bunch of other good fights, and it's going to be on the DAZN network. Eddie Hearn, which is a professional promoter, has jumped on board, and they're selling tickets and tickets and tickets, and it's helping grow the DAZN app, okay? So the entertainment factor on this fight is going to be high. So now I'm going to break down, on this episode, I'm going to break down how KSI can win the fight, okay? In reviewing and watching the first fight, one of the things that I saw is that KSI did not have the ability, he could not overcome Logan Paul's jab, right? So KSI looked like he was in better shape in terms of his cardio, right? So as the rounds went on, Logan Paul kind of gassed out. Now, was that an adrenaline dump? Was that just him not being in shape? Was that him not being prepared to go that long? Underestimating KSI's ability? So I don't know if those are going to be the same factors coming into this fight. One thing that is going to be different is that Logan Paul and KSI are now not going to be fighting with headgear, and they're going to have smaller gloves. So what's going to happen initially, if KSI prepared right, he should come out real strong and kind of scare or shock Logan Paul, feeling the punches as they kind of should really be felt, right? So that's kind of where KSI needs to come at. He needs to come at him where he needs to be really aggressive, tie him up. It seemed like on the first fight, as soon as KSI figured out that he needs to be more aggressive and get closer, he was able to tire out Logan Paul a little bit. I have a feeling, I suspect that that's going to be the same thing. I know that this fight has a lot of hype internet-wise. These are YouTube people that have tremendous followings. They're going to sell a lot of tickets. And the interesting to me, what a powerful point of this whole thing is, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on boxing. Particularly, that's the reason why Eddie Hearn and the DAZN app partnered up to broadcast this fight. I mean, it's not only a moneymaker, but Logan Paul and KSI aren't necessarily boxers, but they're athletic enough where it's interesting. And KSI could come out, if he comes out aggressive, and I don't mean aggressive like for the knockout punch. Maybe he needs to come out aggressive and take some of that pop off of Logan Paul, right? Settle him down. If you get in rounds 4 and 5 and 6, if it's going to be a 6-round fight, I'm not sure if it might be even a 10-round fight. If it's a 6-round fight, then him coming out, KSI coming out strong, getting close, hugging him up, not letting him get into a rhythm, it could disrupt Logan Paul's game plan. Logan Paul's game plan is obviously going to be able to snap his jab and to be able to hit him with power and knock him out, right? That's obviously the goal. That's the entertaining thing. But realistically, KSI doesn't have the experience, or he doesn't have the weapons at his disposal. So he has to fight with what he has, right? What he has is, he knows that in the last fight, he gassed out Logan Paul. Logan Paul could do the same thing, right? He talked about it. If you look at the interviews and you listen to all the people talk and you listen to what happened in the first fight, he gassed out because of the fact that he was nervous. He let his nerves get to him, and he adrenaline dumped, and then that's why in rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6, he looked lethargic and slow. And so KSI maintained his composure. So KSI's strengths are to maintain his composure, keep calm, be aggressive at the beginning, not necessarily looking for the knockout punch, but he has to establish his distance, right? KSI needs to establish his distance in this fight. If he can do that, then he can stretch the fight out, and Logan Paul has way more muscle, and can he pump all those muscles with oxygen, right? It's the same thing that we talked about. You're not going to see a master class like we saw in Canelo versus Kovalev, right? Or Ryan Garcia versus Duno, or in these other fights. You're not going to see a master class, but what you could do is, your game plan should be what your strengths or weaknesses are, right? KSI's strengths is it appears he has more cardio, he has more, he's a little bit calmer. He can control his adrenaline a little bit more, right? He can, where he doesn't have the adrenaline spike and then the adrenaline dump, then you kind of gas out, right? It seems like he was able to control that a little bit better. So he needs to establish distance, establish the aggression. He needs to dirty box, right? That's what's going to get KSI the victory. Dirty boxing. He doesn't have a sharp punch. He doesn't have a fast jab. He doesn't have a tremendous hook or an underhook. He doesn't have any of that stuff, right? He needs to get down and dirty, close the distance, establish distance. He needs to be aggressive. He can't be backing up. He can't. Even if he's taking shots, he can't be backing up. They're not going to have headgear. And if he can disrupt Logan Paul's distance, that's going to take him out of his game plan, because Logan Paul, he has a couple things going for him, but I'm gonna go over that in the next video. Tomorrow's video will be how Logan Paul can win the fight. But in this particular situation, KSI has a tremendous chance because they're both inexperienced, although they've gotten a little more serious because the stakes have went up, the money has gone up, and you know they're gonna go out there and give it a best shot. When you look at these kind of fights and you say that these fights are garbage, or these fights, this is ridiculous, or this is pointless. If we look at this in the lens or the context, if you look at it in the context of entertainment, the whole package, right? When we look at fights, when you look at, I'll give you an example, Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal in the MMA world, right? You look at the concept of entertaining as a whole, right? The reason why we wanted to see Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, it's not because necessarily because of their fighting ability or their style of fighting. It's because of everything they are as a complete package. So that's an important thing, right? These entertainers that go into boxing are entertainers, and they've made it entertaining. They have these press conferences. The boxing community loves this kind of stuff. There are a ton of boxers that should analyze and watch. Their teams should analyze and watch how Logan Paul and KSI built up to this fight, okay? That's an interesting thing. That's the name of the game, is to be entertaining. You have to be a good boxer, but you have to be entertaining. If we look at this fight as an example or as a critique of entertainment, this is more entertaining than pure boxing, yet it's going to sell out the Staples Center. That's 20,000 seats. It's going to sell out. Now, because they don't have strength, their boxing is not superior, does it mean that the fact that they're entertaining is going to make you watch? And the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. Young kids want to be entertained. Their demographic is younger. Golden Boy and DAZN, they have a big presence on Facebook, which is a different demographic. The YouTube community is a lot younger, and a lot of people are going to be tuning into the DAZN network, the DAZN app. They're going to have a lot of uploads. Now, here's the interesting thing about that whole thing is the reason why Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul, didn't fight on this card. It wasn't because they couldn't find an opponent. It wasn't because Fuzi 2 got his nose destroyed in another entertainment / boxing event, right? It's because, just like anything else, you don't want everybody to jump off of the app, right? So here's the deal. This is the same issue that HBO had with Game of Thrones. So many people got the HBO Now app to watch Game of Thrones, the final season. There's so much money that was made, so much production. It had some of the best fight scenes in the history of cinema, right? A lot of people unsubscribed to HBO Now because Game of Thrones left, right? So what you have to do is you have to come up with something else that's powerful. You cannot let off the throttle. So what do? You got all these little kids. You got Jake Paul fighting. You're going to have Fuzi 2 fighting on DAZN. Although Fuzi, he messed up. He got his nose destroyed. He probably won't be fighting again, but he's going to be in there somewhere. He's a very entertaining, polarizing character. Jake Paul, when he fights, it's going to have legitimate fights, and he's going to be professionally, he's not going to wear headgear, and they're going to retain a lot of customers that jumped on because of the fact that people wanted to see this fight. Okay, $15 a month, $10 a month to see DAZN if you're into sports. There's a lot of content out there. So, is it worth it or not? That's debatable. We're not going to debate all that. Although this is going to be an entertaining situation. The keys for, I'm going to recap and then I'm going to get off here. It's already 10 minutes long. The recaps for KSI to win: close the distance, establish dirty boxing, stretch the fight out to rounds 4, 5, 6. If it's going longer, stretch it out longer. Take the pop off of Logan Paul's snap off his punch. He's got to be aggressive. Go forward. You can't go back. Even if he's taking punches, Logan Paul is not prepared to fight dirty boxing. His strength is going to be in his jab, and he's going to rely on that. If KSI wants to have a chance of winning, it's not the strength of his punches. It is the fact that he could just get in there and disrupt his game plan and stretch it out. It seems like KSI could have a longer, more cardio, and he can, run on his bike a little bit longer. He could stretch that fight out, dirty fight it. They're both going to get tired. They're both inexperienced. They both don't have tremendous power. He just needs to stretch the fight out, get lucky, and because again, smaller gloves, no headgear. It's a little bit easier to get knocked out. So anyways, if you like this, check it out. The next show is going to be on Facebook. I'm going to talk about how the Patriots got beat by Lamar Jackson. Check that out. It's football. It's NFL. It's on my Facebook channel. Check that out. It's a very interesting video. It's going to be coming soon. Today and the same day. So again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Thumbs up. Put a comment. Tell me this is garbage. Comment on all the background here. This is the first time. I usually do it from the car. I have these lights, this door, and everything, and I kind of put this up there. I don't know how good this is. It doesn't matter, okay? KSI versus Logan Paul. Watch that thing, dude. If your kids, if you got kids that are little, they're watching it. Talk to you later. Bye.